Welcome everyone on Facebook, on YouTube, to Speaking with Kate and Mickey. And we are here for the new moon in June.
Almost here.
Hi, Mickey.
This is one of those days.
It's been, excuse me, but about one of those 2 months thing.
Yes,
It's just
yeah.
been building on each other. Yeah.
I was trying to behave and not go back as far as it really is. But
Well,
yeah, it's
yeah,
been
I
long.
believe me, I didn't either, but yeah. Yeah, we're having so today's technical days have been pretty good. So I
Yeah.
knock on wood. I'm trying using these AirPods. They told me that it should have almost, studio quality sound if I use these. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, that sounds very interesting. I'm going to try it too after we get off of here.
Yeah,
But
yeah, let's not try anything new. Let's just get through this full moon. So the time in East Coast, New York, is actually tomorrow
hmm
at 3:44 a.m. So
yeah, I was about
3:44
to
in the
say
morning.
mine isn't. I pulled up the chart, but it's not quite there yet. So I was going to play with it a little bit and see where the exact positions are. But it's very close.
Hmm.
It's
So
very.
I hear rumor that we're in for a month of um, good things coming our way. Now, is it Jupiter? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So um that's to keep us from tearing our hair out because
Yeah, we need the good stuff.
the rest of the picture is to really make note of. This is the first time in many years that all of the outer planets are changing sign at the same time. Changing signs is a big deal. Okay, you totally change the vibrations, you change the resonance of whatever the planet was doing. And that's not too bad. We're here celebrating that the moon changed in 2 weeks.
Right.
But, the sun every 23, 24 days. But when we're talking about the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, for instance, goes 247 years or something to go around. So a 30, a 12 for that would be what it takes in a month. So it does not move very much.
Hmm.
Doesn't move fast at all. But that means that even more, when it changes signs, it's a big deal. Because it could have taken 100 and some years to do that, or 200 even. So for them to all be doing it at the same time, and these are the slow ones, so the chances of that happening are even greater. To get them to all be doing it at once, it takes a long time. So, yes, Jupiter is there to say, look, I'm the good planet. I'm the planet that brings things that happen to you that you like. I can put it that way. It's not so much that the thing it brought is necessarily good. It depends on who you are. If you like bad stuff, you see what I'm saying? You can't just
Oh,
say, yeah, who are
I,
you?
I did not think about that.
Yeah. And so, like for instance,
Oh,
if, well, I can't even say that name, but if certain people said, wow, I'm having a great day, it could mean that the whole rest of the planet is going, oh my God, I'm going to commit suicide if it gets any worse. So, who is the person? Now, that brings me to what I was going to say today. You know
I
what my,
know. I
my
could feel it
tagline for today
bubbling up.
is?
I feel it bubbling up.
Yes, it's who's driving? So, and we will get to that in a few minutes. But this is the time when, okay, as I have said to you 2 or 3 times we've gotten together and said, this is when the rubber meets the road. Well, this is when the road's worn the hell out. The rubber is falling apart, And when the two come together, it's not the thing we usually predict that comes with the rubber meeting the road and, oh, we're going to really get it on. No, this is quite unpredictable in a sense. Being an astrologer, you can't say it's unpredictable. That's the whole of what we do. We predict. But who are you that it's happening to? That's the greater question. So when you and I are talking, just the two of us, and we laugh about the stuff we have in common, but we're also very, very aware that you're fire and I'm water.
Mm-hmm.
So the way things in the sky hit the two of us can be very, very different. Okay? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And as I look at, I'm still adjusting here, but as I look at what's going on planet-wise, I'm apprehensive because my screen is red with squares. The squares show up as in red, and the good things, the trines, show up in blue. And this screen is inundated with red. Squares and oppositions are conflicts. Little hard patch in the middle of stuff.
Challenges.
Okay. Conflicts and challenges. Well, the challenge is the conflict.
Okay.
And most conflicts do bring you a challenge to get through.
Yes.
Now, as you know, our little friend that we like to follow, one of them, who shall remain nameless, is always reiterating that, well, the stuff you think is bad is just something that came to show you what you don't like, to show you what you don't want to include in your life lesson. We came here to learn a certain script. We set up the script so that we would definitely be presented with certain scenes that we could react to with the other actors who agreed to be on stage with us. So when the thing happens, you don't suddenly say, oh my God, it's all screwed up. No, you say, oh, that's something I didn't want. I'm glad you brought that to my attention. Let me get rid of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
The problem comes in how long it takes us to say, I'm going to get rid of it right now. Okay? So when you're going on and saying what you have to say, I'm going to glance at this again and pick out things that I can kind of say, hey, look at this and look at this, and here's what's likely to be somebody spitting in your cereal.
Ew.
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 That means this is just to give you an example and say you sit down to have breakfast and you look and say, oh, something's wrong with that. Oh, that's cereal. I'm not going to eat it. You don't see a challenge come up and say, oh, goody. You look at it and go, ew.
Yes, I do.
What you follow that with is the whole script. That's what the play hangs on. And then what does she do? So my sermon today is, who's driving?
Who's got the wheel?
Who's got the wheel? And it is often, maybe, not us.
Exactly.
Okay, right. The first thing you say when you're looking at something about to happen is, who's got the power in this situation? Who's got the wheel?
Yeah.
I can't make changes if I'm not driving.
Right. And if you have anxiousness, you are never holding the wheel. Right. Someone else is. In the future, no less.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, who taught us how to do that?
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing here. We're learning how to drive.
Right. Now, I do want to say something. Audrey is on, and Audrey is saying she's only here for a short time. So, want to say hi to Audrey.
Hi, Pumpkin. It's good that you're with us. For however long it is, that's just fine.
Yeah.
Good to see you and whoever else is out there. We're all kind of holding each other up at the moment and saying, okay, we're going to keep walking. Don't anybody break away from the group. We're just going to keep walking, right? Right. You're waiting to hear everybody go, yeah, let's go. So
Right.
I
We're
hope
still looking
whatever.
forward. We're not looking back. We're not, you know.
Right. We're just looking
Hmm.
forward
Yeah.
or looking at your feet to make sure that what you're stepping on is steady.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, big heart from Audrey.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sweetie pie.
Absolutely.
It's a day.
It is a day, like all of them though.
Well, I had to laugh because I was going to say it, and then I thought better and says, "Well, I'm so old. No one will know what the hell I'm talking about." But I had to laugh because within the last week, one of the biggest things in the news is the George Clooney Broadway show. And who is he doing? The very person I was about to quote. It's a day like every other day, except you were there.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
And
Okay, I do.
nobody
I
usually
remember that.
Yeah, nobody usually knows what the heck you're talking about when you say something, Edward R. Murrow. Who is that? Well, we all knew because you listened to him every night or once a week or whatever it was,
Hmm.
because he would interview your favorite people. We weren't inundated with every step that the famous people took because camera work and social media and all that, it wasn't working like that then. We didn't
Right.
get to see every breath you took. Now, of course, we know every time you make a glass of water, if you're famous.
Right.
Not that we want to know it all, but
Hmm.
we get it anyway. But that's who that was. It was Edward R. Murrow that made that famous. And it's true. It was a day just like all the others, except you were there in this one and you're reacting. So your reactions are the thing that's highlighted. And that's why we're here, folks. Literally, that's why we're here. That's it. You know. And believe me, this week, well, this month, as you put it, it has been
Did.
calling my attention to, hey, pay attention and wake up and see who's driving. Are you driving? You can't complain about what's going down. Did you do that? Who did that? Why did you let them do that? And when we got together at the new moon, the phrase was take personal responsibility.
Hmm.
Wake up and speak up for yourself. Take the weight, take the wheel, take the reins. So we let that go forward into where we are now. Who's driving? Because now the thing has moved further.
Hmm.
Okay? So here we go, folks.
Yeah.
Here we
And
go.
I've noticed that things that I thought were dealt with on my end, and that
Exactly.
I've lessons that I have learned, and I now have a belief system. Sometimes they come back and say, "Oh, but do you really believe it if this happens?" And so I have been having personal challenges,
Yes.
and having to work on my steadiness, my making sure that the ground under me is solid. And one of the things that I have been saying is I am surrounded by supportive friends and family,
Right.
and that means everything. And that's what we are to each other, that come on here and listen and do the meditations with us, go on the journeys. We are each other's support system,
Yes, we are.
and
And
and it's so important. And I really think that and not just humans. I mean, look at dogs. They want to live in packs. Cats are a little more elusive, but the connection that people have to each other, or that living organisms have, they want to join together, right? Like your liver cells don't want to play with your heart cells. No, they stay in the liver.
but they know what their role is, and
They
they know that
do.
they're working together.
Hmm.
So
And I
yeah.
think when they say, well, like attracts like, and you find your people that believe the same things you believe, that's what we're doing here. We're creating a community that supports one another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It takes time to learn how to do that, though. It takes
Oh
time
yeah.
to know whether you want to do that or not.
Hmm. And even when you
That's
think
your
you've
20s
done
and
it,
30s.
you really haven't. It's a, we say that what we do is a practice, and it's a practice because we practice it every day.
Right.
And we keep it up, and if we get knocked down, we get ourselves back up. We usually call one of our support girls or guys, and
Well,
get
this
back
for
on
me,
track and hold that wheel.
yes, exactly. Well,
Hmm.
for me, it's a particularly interesting time, this part of life, because I'm substantially older than you, and I'm looking at how different life is at this stage. I'm, as my daughter likes to say, well, you're pushing 80, Mom. Well, yeah, okay. I'm not pushing it hard. I'm being very light touched. I don't want to anger it, but at this point in my life, I'm looking at the irony of how I'm so gregarious and so forth, and I'm on here and I'm laughing and joking and gregarious. But the strangest thing has happened to where all of my relatives I had, all of my friends I had, my own immediate family and so forth that I was living in the house with, it's all gone. And other than when you and I talk, that's it. Because of the way my circumstances are, it's not like I'm running out shopping and I'm running out to do this and do that. I'm in a town where I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And it's not a circumstance that I can get out and go in to all the places where you usually meet other people. So I'm having to be very aware of creating whatever new entities come into my life, doing it on purpose.
Hmm.
And I'm being admonished, stop putting it off. Yeah, I'm doing that. And you
We're
be quiet.
we are all here for you, Mickey.
As you tell me so often. But
Yes.
that, on the serious side, yes, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing because I haven't been doing much. And folks generally call this bereavement. It's a lot of things.
Hmm.
I cannot believe how long it's been because to me it's about 6 months. It's actually almost 4 years.
Yeah. It's at least
Okay?
3.5. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
So, November's not far away.
No,
July, August, September, October, November.
5 months away.
So
Yeah.
it's 5 months short of being 4 years.
Yeah.
And I can't keep running to that excuse for why I'm not going out there. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. The deal is, and it keeps slapping me in the face, you're alive. Now act like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. And I'm getting that a lot. So
Yeah.
there are projects you and I discuss. There are things that we talk about doing and whatnot. And I've been, So I'm paying more attention.
Uh,
I'm entertaining a few more of those suggestions and so forth. But when this thing came up about who's driving, I was in the back seat. So
oh. Wow.
I don't know who's driving. Why'd you wake me?
Oh boy.
I stopped laughing. You're messing up
You're
the
messing up your
conjugal
makeup,
makeup
huh?
I put on. This is the
Oh.
shortest face slap I ever did. Let me tell you. Over here, we say, I'm going to put on some slap. Because you slap the makeup on in the theater, you're going real fast and whatnot. Well, this is the fastest slap I ever did.
Wow.
All that stuff about you put on this layer and then you cover it with this, and I'm like, nah. slap, lips. That's it.
That is so funny. So I am so happy. I don't put makeup on. So this is it. I sat out in the sun and had my
Oh, you are
lunch.
so
So
beautiful, and
I have some
it's nice.
sun on me. Thank you.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never wore makeup because when I was a child, I used to get blocked tear ducts, and they told me, the
Yes.
doctor told me, do not wear eye makeup. So I just never got in the habit of putting anything on because
Well,
usually
you're lucky because you're a very beautiful woman. So that's
Well,
great.
you know, whether I was or I wasn't going to,
You
I
was
wasn't going to get things stuck in my eye, so
This
I'm
is
good.
it.
hmm They take it or leave it. This is what you get. Oh
Oh
gosh.
God. Well,
Yeah.
looking back at, I'm pulling this chart back to the screen here.
Now, are you looking at your chart or are you looking at
I'm looking at it over
the
here, and like I
overall
say,
today?
I have to adjust it because
Mhm.
what time did you say it happens tomorrow there?
Oh my. Three. Now wait a minute. To look it up again. 3:44 a.m.
Okay. Then that's like 10 a.m. here, 10:44 here, you know. But I'll play with this a little bit and see what it says.
3:40. No, it's not. It's not that late for you. It's 8:44.
Okay.
Yeah. You're 5 hours ahead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, clockwise, I'm 5 hours ahead. Um,
But
but
the moon is a little different, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's slower or faster or whatever. So,
hmm
um, let's just see.
And you're also more north than us as far as the latitude, right?
Yeah.
Which makes a difference, right? So somebody said it's a very unusual moon that it's going to just come over the horizon. Some people won't even see it if they have a lot of trees.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
They had this cartoon on of these two ants sitting
Oh,
watching the sun rise, and they says, look at that sunrise. It's just beautiful. And then when you pan back and look, it's two ants sitting on a book, and there's a tennis ball in front of the book. And the book is obscuring everything but the top of the tennis ball. So
oh,
you think that they're looking at the sunrise. They're just
and
looking
it's a
at the
tennis
tennis
ball.
ball at the end of the book.
So again, everything is perspective and what you think it
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
it.
Yeah. Now, and I think they said it was something that only happens like every 18 or so years. So it's a little unusual, not, we've seen it before in our life. I don't remember hearing about it though. But you know what? 18 years ago, I was just beginning this journey.
Yeah, I was on a very different journey, so
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
You were living in Greece, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And in the in the spirit of censorship, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
I get it. I get it.
Now, going back and looking at this chart, um, now that I look at it and it's in place for here, um, one of the things that we were talking about, the good stuff about Jupiter and whatnot, it's even better than what I was thinking at first because it's great that it's right next to the sun, but it's also even better that Jupiter and the sun and Uranus are all at the very top of the chart. And that is that it gets a lot of rhythm, as we say. A lot of folks are going to know what it's doing because it's not hidden at all. And those are all really lovely to be together. If you can keep Uranus from being far too erratic, because it likes to put strange in the mix, it likes something that's suddenly and strange. The only thing better than sudden for Uranus is strange, unusual, weird, etc. And that's right at the top. So because that's happening for Uranus, it's in Taurus, which is all about the things you have, the things you like to value. What do you have that you care about?
You're fine. It's my dog.
Oh,
I just muted myself because she's barking. There's a car beeping their
oh,
horn outside. So go ahead. I'm just going to mute myself while she's acting up.
okay. I didn't understand what was happening. But as I said, Uranus, although it's there with the other two, with the Sun and Jupiter, they're all at the top of the chart. Uranus is in a different sign, It's the one that's all about what you have and what you care about, what you value. And yet the sun and Jupiter are in, well, the sun is in Gemini and Jupiter is in Cancer. So you've got a lot of really nice things coming up for you in terms of the things that people will really notice, especially if it has to do with your job. You can get some really good news about things that you are getting. Maybe it's money that's coming to you through a job. You see what I mean? And it'll be in an unusual amount or an unusual way. So to mix those three vibrations, they're all happening at the top of the chart. So there's no hiding any of what's going down. In terms of Jupiter, some of the good stuff it brings could have to do with your family because it's Cancerian and it has to do with taking care of, believe it or not, they class the things that you take a chance on. They put children in that category. And at this age, I agree. So things you take a chance on, like love affairs, like children, etc., on and on and on. But all of that stuff is up for grabs at the moment. And there's another planet as well, and that's Mercury, which is about the mind. So some good things will happen in terms of mentally what you get to do with your family and things that you solve. They may have been things that were brewing and needed solving for a long time. But all of this is at the top. All of this is coming up now. And you just have to be aware of how you're steering what you want your vehicle to accomplish. What is it you want to do? You can't always have something to say about how you make your moves. Sometimes other people have more to say about it or have more power of it. This is a time when you need to pay attention and say, this is what I want. Be clear. I'm driving. I get to say who sits in the front and I get to say who sits in the back. And be aware. If you let somebody sit in the front, you better know before you put them there, you have to know they're not going to reach for the wheel. Okay. So these are ways you can look at what's coming. And you've got 2 weeks to handle what these planets are doing. Now, they're still going to be in close to these positions as we move away from this full moon and say we get to the next part, the next new moon, etc. Some of these that are concerning us, because there's the outer planets, they're still going to be kind of relatively where they are. It's this Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury, of course, that are going to be moving on. So they will then start to have an effect on all your relations and friends, the people that are around you. How they react to some of these changes that are coming up now, where you're going to get news of new money, a new person in the family, etc. All kinds of news that has to do with those things. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be trying to handle how other people felt about it. It's how it affects your friends and so forth. And then 2 weeks plus from there, more like a month, it'll be, well, how did you handle the reactions you got? Were you upset and went off the handle, flew off the handle because of how somebody felt about it? There's a progression to those things that come up. Right now, the highlight is on what do the authoritarian symbols in your life, what are they doing that you're going to be reacting to? Who's driving? Sometimes that's the boss. Sometimes that's the husband or the wife or your child that you're paying too much attention to, etc., etc., etc. When people speak up and tell you how they feel, number one, pay attention, because if a person shows you who they are, pay attention. But the thing is that as folks give you their opinions, they're telling you an awful lot about how they feel about their own lives. We react because of who we are. We react because of what we're going through. And then we put that on the outside. Whatever it is we don't want to deal with, we have the other players on that stage read that back to us. You see what I
That
mean?
that's a lot, Mickey.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah. This
lot.
is a very eventful time.
Mm,
Some of the things that are going on right now haven't gone on for over 300 years.
mm,
So here it is, it's back.
mm.
If we didn't handle it before. Like the last time this was happening was the French Revolution.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of revolutions trying to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Countries all over the world are trying to deal with things they thought they could handle, but they hadn't done a good enough job, so it's come back. And that's how long it took. The start of America was back then. So there are a
Right.
lot of issues that we're dealing with as a country that we haven't dealt with since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a renegade territory.
Yeah. So I'm
So,
hearing pay attention, react the way you want the outcome to be.
right.
Don't go uh, anxious, thinking the worst if that's not what you want. Um, and call on your support people. You know.
And the thing is, um, in order not to fly off the handle and so forth, take the time to find out what the heck you really do want.
Right. And even I mean, for me, more than flying off the handle is moving into fear, almost debilitating, freeze in your shoes fear.
Oh, I understand that completely.
Yeah, yeah.
Just remember, this is a time of money and financial dealings, and you've got to take those, you got to be able to handle the outcomes that are often unpredictable. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember I said, this is Uranus. It brings things that you weren't thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Your path is prone to sudden changes at the moment. Okay. Um, Sometimes those changes are great because you'd be offered something, a sudden job change or career change, because this part of the zodiac is talking about what you do,
Mm-hmm.
how you're seen by others, and especially in your profession. But it's all about sudden financial things, um, your freedom and your independence.
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy stuff, like you say. It's stuff for you to really pay attention to, but you've got to know what you really want before you can control your outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. You need to know what
Frog
you
in my
want,
throat.
and you need to be very clear with yourself as to what that you put that out there. I know a woman, and she was quite sick, and she was absolutely resolved that she was going to get better. She was going to go home. Everything was going to be okay. And everyone around her were very fearful, and she didn't care. She was
Mm-hmm.
in her resolve, and she was right. Everybody else was wrong. The doctors, the friends, the family. She got better. She basically healed herself.
No, that's good.
And with her intentions, that she was so certain of her own body. And, you can be very clear about that. Our journey today, I got a lot of healing is going to happen in our journey today.
That's
So,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of healing last time and we needed it again.
We do, and it's almost like, and that's my basic, where I started from. So everything was healing, and simple healing, like nothing
Right.
that's going to be nothing earth shattering, different, um, and something that everybody can do. It's not special, it's just a matter of doing it.
Well, the thing is, I was reminded during the week that um, when you go to the doctor, he is not healing you. You are healing you. You used
Ex-
him as your permission slip, so to speak. You used
yep.
him to reflect to you your desire to be well. You've given him permission to read that script. and actually you are doing the healing.
Right. And if that doctor goes against healing you,
Right.
then you can fire
You
him.
can override. Yeah, you override.
Absolutely. And that's what I witnessed, this week. So,
Yes, I
and
see that.
it's a joy to watch it.
It is.
It really is a miracle.
It is.
And it shows me the all that is. And when you have that knowing and the certainty, and I wish we all had that 100% of the time, every day, 365 days a year, but that's why we have support because
That's true.
it doesn't always happen.
But
Yeah.
that's the purpose of the support, to reflect back to
Yes,
you what your intention is for this time.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know,
And that's what we're
gosh,
here to learn. We're here to
that is
learn
it.
that we can do it all if we believe it all.
Well, when you said earlier about seeing all that is in it, so many things, I have been careful in the last year or so to not voice how many times I see all that is in everything, because it's reached a high point of where I see it in absolutely everything. Absolutely. I get to where I can see the plan. I can understand how this is set up and why, and my place in it. I don't always agree with what's required of me in the reading of my script, but I try to keep a good grip on what I'm doing and how and why. But I see all that is, God, whatever it is, creator, spirit, I see it in everything. Absolutely everything. I have Sagittarius rising, and that's about philosophy and religion and law. So I can see the laws at work in the movements of the planets. That's what it is when you learn astrology. You're learning all the laws that rule what they do and how they do it. And so I'm adjusting my philosophy, adjusting my beliefs based on how I view creation. How much of the time do I see all it is? And what do I think I'm learning from it? And so then you adjust your beliefs and how you move and what you do. So that's why I come here, because I'm constantly editing. I'm looking at my life, I'm looking at what's going on, and I'm doing little edits. I'm constantly rewriting and editing. And I'm here to say to you, you can do it too. Get hooked on working on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my little dog is being very bad. she is. She is. I don't know, and she won't come to me. So
Give her attention. Yeah, she can feel the vibes in the room.
I know, but
But we're not aware of it. We are not aware of it. It's quiet and nice.
yeah. Oh, really? You can't hear her?
Oh,
Oh my gosh, really? Okay.
no, I
All
don't
right.
hear any of it.
Well, I keep silencing myself, but when she starts.
But
And
we
she's
haven't
like
been.
looking out the window. It's like she's like, "Come on, give me a reason to bark."
Yeah. No, we have not been hearing it
You
at
haven't
all.
been hearing. Okay, all right. Because when I go into the journey, I do not want her barking
Right. I know.
to, yeah. And if I put her in another room, she'll bark just because she's locked out.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I'm just, and I just said Carol was here just a little while ago, and I told her, I says, Maddie meditates with us. She's always very good.
That's funny.
Yeah. But so she's showing us she's all that is too. She's showing us a different side of her.
Yes.
Yeah. She's very aware of what's going on today. So. All right. Well, do you think we're ready to jump into this journey?
I think so.
Okay.
I
Keep
think.
in mind, during it, that you have the wheel, right?
Yes.
So, in this healing, you get to choose who's going to be helping you, who's going to be there.
Right.
right. It's all your choice. I mean, I'm going to give you ideas,
Yeah,
but you have the wheel, each one of us,
right.
and know that each one of us will accept the healing for our highest and greatest good.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
your feelings and your actions are in a rare system of synchronicity right now. So, work with that. We've
Yeah.
got a
And
chance to manifest some really good stuff. We just
right.
can't get sidelined by the BS.
So here you're saying that, Jupiter is going to give us more of, and to
Opportunities.
me, I'm thinking good things.
Yeah,
But if you're thinking scary things or negative things, or that you're worried that something's going to go awry, that's also going to make that bigger. So
right.
intentionally, you want to be extremely positive and absolutely certain of what you want, because you don't
It's
want to bring the stuff you don't want to you by thinking about the stuff you don't want.
right. The thing is, if you don't want it, don't think about it. Don't sit there
Yep,
saying, well, this might happen and this might happen.
exactly.
What are you doing? You're creating that resonance. You're bringing it up.
You're bringing it on. Yeah,
So just
yeah.
don't.
Right, right,
It's very simple. Don't.
right. And people around you, they're gonna put it in front of you to say, "Ha, can you take this?
But
Ha!"
the thing is, if that's the
But you
kind
don't
of
have
person
to.
that is, then you don't have to sit and have lunch with them today.
Right,
If that's
right,
how they are, do something different.
right, right, right.
Enjoy
That's
driving.
that's what
Bad
I
not
mean by,
driving.
yep, you have the wheel, you can turn the corner, you can turn around, whatever you want.
Whatever it is you're going to do, it has to
Yeah,
be because you're going to do it. Not
right,
so and so suggested.
right. And
Especially when
normally,
you didn't ask for the suggestion.
exactly. Yeah. Now, full moon, we usually say we're receiving what we have been putting our intentions into.
Yes.
But it's not the time to let up on those intentions.
No.
You still want to keep them up. Yeah.
Right. Just know that another thing is know that the intentions you come up with are coming because that's what you wanted to do this time.
Hmm.
So that's okay. Those intentions will stay in place because
Hmm.
you put them there.
You're
And
right.
what we're in right now is we're looking to see the return of all that stuff we asked for. And
Right.
thank God Jupiter's in the mix
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's much more of a chance of receiving those very pictured things that we said we wanted. Just hang in there and don't be real negative right now. It's the wrong time.
Absolutely.
This
I
is the
hear you.
time to have a glass of red wine or white or whatever. But this is the time to sit there and have something you normally wouldn't have eaten or something that gives you great pleasure. Because in the midst of that pleasure, you're thinking about good things. You're in a good
Yeah.
mood. You're saying, oh, I'm enjoying this. Joy is the key right now. That's the
Yes.
watchword.
Right.
Joy. If it brings you joy, have the piece of candy for God's sake. It's
Yeah.
not going to end the world. It's not going to cause world peace, but it might give you a moment of peace and
Right.
joy,
Yeah.
which means
Definite
you're going to
joy.
be putting that vibe into the world.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Love that. And when I think about it, yesterday I went out with a couple of my friends and came home with some bottles of red wine.
Yeah.
And I stopped at a store and brought home some luscious carrot cake.
Oh, that
I,
sounds wonderful.
oh, it was. I
Ooh.
woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't get back to sleep, so I made myself a cup of coffee and I had a piece of carrot cake.
Oh, that sounds great. I got up and had a
three
cup of
o'clock.
coffee and a piece of lemon cake.
There. Well, all right. See that? And it was joyful. You are so right. Such a simple thing.
Yes.
I love
And
it.
that helped sweeten the anxiety I had about not going to sleep, the this, the that.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for that. I just enjoyed what I was having. It felt
Yeah.
so decadent.
Yeah. That's crazy. Another thing we did the same.
Yes, of course.
Of course, it doesn't even surprise me anymore. All right. Well, do you think we're ready to jump into this journey?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
Just
All
keep
right.
in mind, folks, Joy.
Joy, happiness, good intentions, and
Yes.
you have the wheel. All right, so all I'm going to ask people to do is just relax. Just sit comfortably, and I want you to know, and actually you can repeat this with me. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. And with that, we're going to take the 3 to 1 count to get into this journey, the beginnings of the journey. So on your inhale, I want you to take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, I want you to silently say to yourself and visualize the number 3 times, and then the number 2 3 times, and then the number 1 3 times. So let's go ahead and do that together. Inhale. 3, 3, 3. Inhale again. 2, 2. And inhale again. 1, 1, 1. Beautiful. Now I'm going to relax your body by mentioning different parts of your body. And when I do that, just put your focus there and then release any tension you may be holding there. Ready? Let's start at your scalp. And your eyebrows and your forehead, your cheeks. Part your teeth just a little, releasing any tension that's being held in your jaw. Good. Now focus on your neck. Your neck does such a wonderful job of holding up your head. Just release any tension you may be holding there. And your shoulders. If you find that they're up near your ears, just let them droop down. Focus on your arms, your hands. You can even wiggle your fingers. Release any tension you're holding in your arms, your hands, and your chest. And pay attention to the rise and the fall as you take a breath. But on your next exhale, just let go of any tensions you're holding. In your back, your torso, your hips. Release all tensions in your hips, your buttocks, your thighs, your calves, your feet. Just let all the energies melt right down, and if there's any tensions left, just let them go out the soles of your feet. And again, repeat with me. I am who I am, and that is enough. And with that, imagine that we're standing at the top of a staircase, and at the bottom of the staircase is our meditation room with our quantum door. Now we're going to walk down those steps from 10 to 1, and when we get at the bottom, I would like for you to stand in front of your quantum door. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We are at the bottom of the staircase in our meditation room, facing our quantum door. And again, repeat with me. I am who I am, and that is enough. Now, as we stand in front of our quantum door, on the other side of the door, intend that we are going to be in a healing circle. And this healing circle is going to be in a meadow. And we're just going to walk together to that little area. And yes, there's a little table that will be set up when we get there. So are we ready? We're standing in front of the door. The door opens out. And I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And on 3, you're going to reach out and touch the doorknob, and the door will open. And at that point, you will be able to jump out or walk out or fly out, whatever feels right to you. And join us on the other side. Ready? 1, 2, reach out and touch that door. 3, and the door is opening. And out we go. And we find that we're outdoors. And we can hear the little creek, the water rushing. Take the time to notice the sounds. You hear the water rushing. You hear the leaves rustling with the breeze. You hear birds and little animals scurrying about. Now let's start walking. You see a path in front of you, and we can see the clearing ahead. But let's walk towards that clearing. Slowly, deliberately, as you have the wheel. Take the time to smell the flowers. You can smell the earth where the water touches it. And there may be some fruit trees as we walk by, or citrus trees. Know that these are all free for you to take, to taste. You can pick an orange or a lemon. Easily open it with your fingers and smell it. Your mouth waters just thinking about eating this wonderful fruit, biting into a crunchy, crisp apple. And then there's some soft pears, and there's peaches. Everything is available to you in our quantum world. Remember, you have the wheel. So as we walk, we see we're getting very close now to the meadow. Now in this, we're going to join in this healing circle. And you are going to lay on the healing table, getting yourself perfectly comfortable. Pillow under your head, maybe one under your legs. You might want to cover with a blanket. Everything is there for you. So just get yourself absolutely comfortable. Now I would like for you to ask all of the angels, beings of light, your friends and family, ancestors, lineages, teachers, anyone that you want to ask to assist with this healing. And they are gathering around the table. And each one of us are around your table too. Now the healing is going to be for your absolute highest and greatest good. And I would just like for you to just soak this in. I want you to feel it happening. Feel the energy coming into your crown, coming down past your third eye, past your throat, into your heart space. And it just fills your heart. And as your heart pumps the blood, the energy just fills the rest of your body. And with each in-breath you take, you bring in this beautiful white light of healing that we are all creating together. So here you are, laying on the table. The energy is coming directly to you from the universe. And then we are all assisting, because each one of us that are with you is around your table as well, bringing the energy into our crowns and out our hands, directing it directly to you for your highest and greatest good. Now each one of you will have your own intentions for yourself. I myself will leave that up to my higher self, because my higher self knows everything that I've ever been through, all lives that I've ever lived, and knows exactly what I need at any given time. So I give permission for my higher self to give me exactly what I need for my highest and greatest good. And you may do the same. Now I am going to be silent for a longer time than normal. I think I would like to give us about 10 minutes of silence. And I would like for you to note and remember the feelings that you get, where you might feel tingling, or heat, or coolness, possibly where a pain might go away. Whatever you need is possible in this quantum world. And so it is. Now, the being that is at your feet presses 3 times very lightly to signal your body that this healing session is coming to a close. At this time, you can just take a little breath in and out and thank the beings of light, the angels, guides, ancestors, past loved ones, friends, family, whoever you invited in. Thank them for being with you on this healing journey. And thank yourselves for being able to do this healing for yourself. And thank all that is for allowing to give us all the energy that we need when we need it. Now, when you're ready, you can sit up on the table, dangle your feet over the edge, and just reflect on what just happened. Where did you feel the energy? What was it like? Did you have any visions? Make note of what they were. And later, after we are off this transmission, you can jot down a few notes about what you remember. And you will remember this. It's very significant. It's a very special day in your life when you are taking charge of healing your own physical body and your own well-being. Now have a little glass of water. Your beings have it right there for you. Drink that down. It helps to ground you. It helps to clear toxins that you may be releasing. Remember, you just took in and received a lot of energy. So any energy that was pent up still in your body was just pushed out to Mother Earth. So here you sit with a healthy, clean, shiny, energy-filled body. Note how you feel right now at this moment. Do you feel joy? Do you feel love? Do you feel peace? Do you feel connected to nature, to all that is, to each other? Just make a little note of that. Remember. And I'm going to have you repeat this with me one more time. I am who I am, and that is enough. Now you can get up and walk around. We're all still together in the meadow, but it's time to say our goodbyes to each other and make our way back to the quantum door. Walking slowly, deliberately. Again, noticing all the sights, the sounds, and the smells of our beautiful quantum world. And you can bring any being back with you. You could be holding their hand. Definitely give them a hug. Know that they're never far away, and all you have to do is call on them. Okay, so we've all made it to the quantum door. And again, I am going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, you will be back in your meditation room and the quantum door will close. So say your final farewells or hold tight to that being that you're going to bring back with you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're back in our meditation room. Back in your heart space. Now we are going to be awakening, right? So you're going to feel like you've just had a wonderful nap, a great healing. But when I count to 5, you are going to open your eyes up and you're going to be wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Starting to move around a little bit. Your breathing is changing a little bit. 4. You're starting to really wiggle and get used to coming back. And 5. Eyes wide open, wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. Now that was a beautiful healing journey. There we are.
Very,
Wow.
very, 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 very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
know that, I will put this on just the journey. And for the most part, it's just, it's your healing. And you'll be able to
That's what
access
I
it
love about
anytime you
going
want.
back. Yeah, going back to it, being able to pull up just the journey. And it means you can try again and try again and try again.
Absolutely. And I think this is either the 46th or the 47th one that we've done.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but it's definitely in the higher 40s. Yeah. Yeah. I know. When I think about it, it just this in itself has been quite the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. And, when I think about folks like Audrey, and, it just, it is a journey. I'm aware of it. When I see, every now and then I see an instance of an early one we did, and I get a glimpse of Martin, even though we don't get to see him much. He's on when we're finished, but it's just so nice because when I'm looking at my page and I notice that I just clicked on this and I just clicked on that, and it's a nice warm feeling.
It is.
My people, so it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. That's why we're here.
Because we know they're there. Yeah.
Now that I heard.
There's another world heard from. Do you know that she did not make one sound during the journey? She was very quiet.
See, she's earned the right to say, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep, I think so. And I do think she journeys with us.
I think so. Yeah. And so many pets do.
They really do. Yeah. I could tell you a story about another pet that journeyed with someone a couple of weeks ago, but I will let her tell her story herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. I'll just pique some interest there.
Well, there's a woman on Facebook that comes up in the reels where you see these little 10-second, 15-second, videos. And she has a healing service where she does it out in her meadow, and her horses come and add vibration to the healing. They all come and they put their head down on the person who's laying on a bed, a cot.
Yeah.
And the horses come around. You can tell which one's doing it and which one's waiting. And it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Animals are so much more intuitive than we are.
You can really, really see this. It is amazing to me. Strange woo-woo.
And animals, they're very open to receive too. And because nobody's ever told them they can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They just trust and they love. All of them.
Oh, and a shout out goes to my very lifelong buddy Tom, who he's a playwright, and he just managed to sell his place, and he's moving to Italy. I'm so tickled he's going to be on this side of the pond. Okay.
I am going to shout out to you because I think that me and Mickey would love to come and visit you. I want to meet you.
Okay. Where do I play this for him?
I know. I love it. That's why I did it.
He is one of them. I can see already that you two are going to be absolutely famous. I want
Oh, I
to
can't
shield
wait.
myself against the two of you ganging up on me. But he's quite
I
an
love it.
award-winning playwright. He's won the Edward Albee more than once, so very good. But he's a
Nice.
I
All right,
feel
Tom. I'm looking forward to this. We'll get her there.
he is a nut. Anyway, I look forward to the fact that the Jupiter, what I was getting while I was in, the journey, Jupiter is going to bring us some very interesting new people, and the vibe will be really, really nice. So I'm open for that. That's great.
Wonderful. Nice.
Yeah, we're about to have some joy.
Yeah.
I bring
There's
to that.
and you can find joy every day, right?
Exactly.
I'm like the carrot cake gave me joy.
Well, you have to look for some little thing.
Yeah.
The other day there was a spider in the bathroom, and I took the time to get something, put him in it. You have the cup and you slide the paper under it.
Yep.
And I took him to the front, which for me is saying a lot. I've got a cane in one hand and I'm balancing this insect in the other, and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when I let him out and I said, thank you for being there, but now it's time to go somewhere else, I let him go.
Yeah.
Enjoy your world. And
Mm-hmm.
the feeling I got back was all this gratitude. Well, gee, all of you people always hit us. No, I just
Not
wanted you to not be in the bathroom.
right.
And so
Yes.
go your way and enjoy your life.
There you
Such
go.
as it is. And so that gave me joy. It was just a moment. May seem silly to some people, or I go and I look for something in the fridge and I couldn't find it. And then within the hour or the next day, I open it and there it is. And that
Yeah.
it's the joy of discovery. It's the
Yeah.
relief of, oh, I did have it after all. I'm saying this to say it doesn't matter what it was that triggered the joy. And it doesn't matter how tiny it is.
Right.
We're tiny, tiny, tiny pieces of God, of all that is.
Yeah.
But we matter.
We
So
do.
that little tiny spark of joy matters. Pay attention. You created it. You made the little one, you can make a bigger one.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Think like a child. They find
Exactly.
joy in everything they do.
Everything.
Just remember the first steps of a baby,
Yeah.
and the joy on their face
When they
when
realize
they
hit
when
the
they
floor.
balance when they balance themselves and they take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
love
they
it.
take
I
off
love
and
it.
they take off.
And then there's no stopping them.
No. Once that happens, it's a milestone, which
It
we can
is.
take that part of the lesson too. If you
Yeah.
when you manage that little bit, you will not have to go back to whoever it was that didn't have the little bit. You're going to build on it. You're not doing it over and over to substitute. You're building on your capacity
Mm-hmm.
to experience joy.
And you can find it in every little thing you do. Just opening your eyes up in the morning is joyful.
It is. Well, it can be if you pay attention to the
Exactly.
fact that it's happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do your 2 short breaths and 1 long exhale.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we are going to be together again in 2 weeks, and again it's going to be on a Tuesday. So we'll be off next week and we'll be back on the following Tuesday. Yeah. It's been fun. The word of the day today is delightful.
Yes, it is.
It's been
Delightful.
delightful.
Yes, love.
So go out and find some joy.
Yes.
I
Make
love
your
it.
own.
That's right. That's all there is.
Yeah.
Love you, Mickey.
Love you too, sweetheart.
Love
Okay.
you all.
Good stuff.
Bye bye.
Bye.